Alright, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is the legendary Founding Titan, and today we're going to be talking about the next leader on the list. So we've already covered, all the UNSC leaders. If you don't know what I'm doing, basically, explained it in part 1, and I try to explain a little bit in each part, but basically, I'm kind of trying to find what each character is basically strong, struggles, or weak against sort of deal. We've done this with all the Unit C leaders. If you want to go check those out, those will be in the description once my 6-part series of this tier list are out. Um, but for now, we will be talking about Arbiter's kit versus the roster, right? So yeah, we'll be doing Arbiter today. So Arbiter, of course, you have Arbiter, and he has the Sui Grunts, and I'm pretty sure that's it. Um, so this is a little different from normal, a little bit. I did like um reorganize these guys so they're not like 5 units put together like next to like side to side sort of deal. I spread them out the best of my ability kind of deal. So we have a consistent flow of a covenant a unit, UNSC unit, covenant unit. It just keeps going back and forth. Because I know last time there was like 4 UNSC units in a row or something like that, and it was just like, okay, it's not really that big a deal, but it's just kind of something I thought would be kind of more interesting to kind of switch it up between the two, Covenant and UNSC kind of deal. That's really all I was doing. But yeah, here we are. So, oh, buddy. So the first unit that we're gonna start with is, of course, the Jackal. Now, obviously, this goes without saying, really, that Arbiter can, of course, build he can build Jackals as well. He can build any Covenant unit, the same as another Covenant leader sort of deal, right? But we're looking for Covenant units that are best used against Arbiter, basically. And I'd have to say that the Jackal, a few Jackals can really kill an Arbiter like almost instantly. Um, if the Arbiter isn't veteran, that is. Uh, Arbiter can make quick work of them, but I think a group of 10 Jackals and he's done. So if your enemy does make that many Jackals, it is definitely an issue for Arbiter. It's even an issue for Chieftain because Jackals do a lot of damage to infantry in general, and from a safe distance too. But I think they're even more dangerous for Arbiter. I feel like you definitely need Arbiter to have some veterancy in order to be very, pretty strong against. But I think even then, like, because it's not like when Arbiter's raging, it is possible for Scorpions to, he could dodge their main cannon a lot of the time. He can't really escape Jackals, really. Um, I feel like if you really want to kill a veteran Arbiter, Jackals are gonna be your way to do it. And I have to say, I think Jackal immediately goes in weak against, just because he does have the weakest health pool against a Jackal. Because Chieftain he has a higher health pool than Arbiter, and Prophet of Regret just flies. You know. I brought water today, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not gonna be dehydrated this time, but yeah. So yeah, I think Jackal actually goes there for a week. Um, Again, he could build him too. I think Arbiter just has to be way more cautious than anyone else out of the Covenant leaders. he has to be way more cautious of jackals because of how powerful they are against them. Really. Gremlins. Um, Anders' special unit, the stunning thing. Stunner Boy. Stuns vehicles for like ever. Um, I mean, do you build vehicles as Arbiter? Uh, I typically build vehicles with Chieftain, mainly because Chieftain's like super tanky and he's usually in the front lines, and the race can like kind of just sit behind him and shoot. But like Arbiter's case, I don't know. Maybe. Hmm. I mean, I will put against struggles against, just because if there is certain strategies you want to do, Gremlins do make that a lot harder. Like, let's say if you wanted to, because you are invisible as Arbiter once you get Ghastly Vision. If you want to try to sneak Locust across the map and there's a Gremlin to stop you, that does kind of suck. I would more likely say though, most of the time a Gremlin is on the like he's uh in between struggles and strong against. Like I feel like Arbiter really doesn't have to worry too much about a Gremlin, especially since Arbiter can really just kill one within seconds, pretty much. So yeah, not really too much of an issue. Ghost, very strong against Arbiter. Ghosts just don't do anything. I've talked about this like every video. You know, doesn't matter who you're fighting against. Ghost is probably like one of the weakest units in the game, if not the weakest. It's great for early scouting, and that's it. I mean, that's about all it's there for, and that's the whole intention of the Ghost to begin with. It's just supposed to be a scout. It's not supposed to be a mainline unit. It literally says scout on it. I mean, granted, Warthog says scout on it too. I do wish the Ghost could do more. I wish it could at least kill Marines, but it can't do that, so fuck it. Gremlin. Grizzly, Big Baba Tank. Uh, Ooh, where do I put this big boy? Hmm. In regards to countering Arbiter's kit, I'd actually say it's on the weaker side of weak against. Like it's more to the right, as I usually have like things on the far right. They're like the weakest unit sort of deal. But once we get more guys up here, you'll see what I mean. But basically, Grizzly is kind of in between struggles against and weak against. Um, shit. Main reason is it's Grizzly just doesn't have Arbiter doesn't really have much of a counter to Grizzlies apart from just Hunters and Banshees. Arbiter himself would take forever. Like even a veteran Arbiter would take a little bit to kill a Grizzly. Well, if it's a 6-star Arbiter, maybe not. But if it's like only like a 1-star, like a 4 shield Arbiter, it's gonna take a while because Arbiter's specialization is not tanks. His specialization is infantry and air. Like that's what he's good at fighting against. Um, Tanks are just definitely his one weak point, and I think Grizzlies definitely are the lower scale of that, though. Um, like I said, it definitely is in between struggles against and weak against. I might need to come back to that once we put everything up there. I might need to reconsider it, but for now, I'm thinking it goes up there. Oh shit! I just realized the one thing the one thing I usually do. Damn. Okay, we just started a unit, so it's not that big of a deal. But the one thing I usually do, I talk about the leaders, like what leaders he's strong, struggles, and is weak against. Let's start with that actually. We did do a few units. We did do four units, but I mean, I guess it gives you better idea of what I'm doing. But yeah, we'll go through the leaders real quick. I totally forgot about it. My bad. My bad. This is only my fourth time doing it. My bad. Maybe it's because it's Arbiter. I just don't like Arbiter. Like. I respect Arbiter players. I don't play Arbiter though. I really don't. I respect Arbiter players because they typically are really good a lot of the time. But yeah, I don't. I don't play them. I don't play Arbiter like hardly ever. Let's see. Um, I guess we'll start with Cutter. Arbiter. While he does excel against infantry, I feel like Captain Cutter. I mean, it's more struggles against. Uh, I wouldn't say he's fully weak to Cutter, but Cutter's definitely one of it. Cutter's definitely a big issue. I'd say Cutter is really strong. Cutter is just, I mean, I said it before in the last video with Captain Cutter. He's Big Daddy of Halo Wars. You don't fuck with Big Daddy of Halo Wars because he's just. I mean, no doubt in my mind, he's the best leader in the game. Um, Arbiter definitely can go, but give Cutter a good fight, but I'd say it's more of a struggle. I don't think Arbiter's fully weak against him, but it's definitely on the higher end of struggles against, I would say, against a Cutter. It's just Cutter has a lot of, the ODSTs, the Mac Blast, but Arbiter is very quick and nimble, and he is a great infantry killer, so A-type ODSTs do come at his base. He can easily deal with them. So it is gonna be a struggle still, but I think for the most part, like Arbiter, he ain't like suffering bad from a Cutter really. Anders, I'd make the argument he's strong against her. Um, Honestly, I do think he is strong against Anders. I get if I see an argument for putting her in like struggles against, but even then, I'd still put her on the lower end of struggles against. I just feel like Arbiter, like, even if you don't, like, even if you're too scared because of, uh, like using your rage on her air units because you're gonna get maybe glitched or whatever bullshit, just enhancing your vampire's damage with your Arbiter's aura is enough to change the tide of a fight. Because vampires are the king of the sky. Enhancing their damage even further with Arbiter's ability is just stupid. Um, you could definitely do a crazy shit with Arbiter, making those vampires do even more damage, making your hunters do even more damage. I mean, you know, I feel like his aura, his damage boost aura, really excels for units that are specifically designed to fight, certain units like air, vehicle, infantry. You know what I mean? So I definitely think like, or even like Locust. I feel like Locust. If you're ever gonna use a Locust on someone, it would be with Arbiter. I feel the most. Um, while Prophet is a decent choice, I feel like Arbiter just makes the most sense, just because you could even do more damage by just enhancing their damage against buildings. So, you know what I mean? And he's invisible, so it's like you could easily stick around the map. Yeah, I just feel like Arbiter has some good utility with Locust, but in terms of fighting at Anders, though, I feel like if you know what you're doing, I feel like Anders should be your best bet as an Arbiter. Um, Now, like I said before, just because these units you're strong against doesn't mean that you're never gonna lose to them. Like you could still get outplayed by anything in the tier list. You know what I mean? But this is what I think. Realistically, you should be strong against, weak against, struggles against, sort of deal. Just so we could clarify all that shit too. Um, Sergeant Forge. Um, uh, I say struggle. I think Cutter is more of an issue than Forge. Um, yeah, not much else to really say. I just think Forge is more of an issue, or Cutter's more of an issue than Forge. I just think like Arbiter, the way I think of Arbiter, you're gonna be building mostly like uh I feel like he's kind of like half and half. Like you build half infantry, half air, maybe. I don't really know the meta with Arbiter to be honest with you. Because I never play him. I never play Arbiter, but I feel like realistically that's what you would want to go for, right? Um, I just feel like I said before. I just feel like the units that have like anti-vehicle like hunters and anti-air like vampires, Arbiter enhancing that damage even further is just nuts. You don't realize how much damage you're really doing when that aura goes off because you already do extra damage from, like the hunter's point of view. Like the hunters have the anti vehicle and enhancing that damage even further. I don't know what the exact multiplier would be, but it would be pretty high for how much more damage you're doing. Now, granted, your army can't move while you're raging, but I definitely think it's a great defensive ability to use regardless. I mean, there's a reason why a lot of times I see people do super turtles. I've never actually done super turtling because super turtling wasn't really a concept I had in my mind back then when I played Halo PvP, Halo Wars PvP. Uh, yeah, it was never a concept I had in mind, but there's a reason why a lot of arbiters or a lot of people that do super turtles prefer having arbiter. It's because of that very reason. Um, that and there's just so many things you can do with arbiter in a turtle, but that's what I think is what really stands out is that arbiter can enhance his army's damage, or even a scarab's damage. Enhancing a 2 to 3 star scarab would be nuts. I don't know why I never actually tried that before. Huh? Something that might be something I did look at in a future video. But yeah, that's what I had to say about Forge. I think Forge, despite him having the Grizzly, I just think Cutter is a bigger issue just because of the backblast, the ODSTs. It's just like I was saying earlier. Arbiter builds air more than likely. His infantry is more of a defensive like approach. I feel, while his air is more of like his offensive approach. It's kind of how I see it. I don't know. I guess it just depends on the match, really. I don't really know. I just think, regardless, though, most of the time, Forge is gonna be less of an issue than Cutter. I think early game, Forge would be a bigger issue, but late game, or mid to late game, I think Cutter's more of an issue for Arbiter. That's just what I'll say. That's what I'll leave it with. Um, Brute Chieftain. Okay. Um, uh, hmm. I don't really know, actually. Uh, Brute Chieftain. Hmm. Honestly, oh boy. Uh, this might be a hot take, but I'm kind of thinking Cheetah goes in weak against. Um, I know Arbiter versus a chieftain will lose just because, Arbiter could just rage him down while, chieftain relies on having a huge vortex of, crap in it to actually do more damage. But the reason why I think chieftain's a bigger threat to Arbiter is because I just feel like if a chieftain is at an Arbiter's base, an Arbiter realistically can't use his rage while chieftain's around. And the reason why is because, like I said earlier, Arbiter can't realistically, uh, Arbiter can't use his army. Like, when the player uses Arbiter's ability, he can't move his army. Now, the same thing can be said for Chieftain, but Chieftain's also doing way more damage than Arbiter, especially if there's an army. If you're talking about a huge army and Arbiter's playing defensive and his shit it just gets sucked up while Arbiter's trying to kill the Chieftain or whatever, like, yeah, I mean, I feel like Chieftain just does way more damage than Arbiter to like to armies, especially when that vortex just gets bigger and bigger with the more units he's sucked up into it. Arbiter is a more single target attacker, which is why he does beat someone like Chieftain in an actual fight. But Chieftain against armies is way better than Arbiter. He has way more health. He's way more damaging in that regard. I feel like it might be on the lower end of weak against. He's maybe Cheetah's in between like struggles and weak against, but I feel like out of any leader, I feel like Cheetah, if Cheetah knows what he's doing and knows how to position himself, and if the Arbiter tries to use that rage, he can really abuse it. Cheetah can really take advantage of that just by walking around and vortexing everything. Because even a enraged Arbiter will take a while to kill a chieftain, especially if it's starred. If it's a starred chieftain, which more than likely it would be, because it doesn't take a lot to really make him at the very least 1-star chieftain. Um, you might even see a 2-star chieftain. It's more often than not that I could get a 2-star chieftain within like 15 minutes, if that. As long as you keep moving your chieftain around the base to base to base, because he has the HP pool, might as well just do that. Um, usually for me, I build like engineers, brutes. I spam engineers and brutes in the early game. Like back in my PvP days, I spammed engineers and brutes, and I would just have my chief to do all the work. Like I would have my chief to just fucking running around. I'd spend upgrades on my fucking chieftain's basic attack, not his vortex, just his base attack, just so he could clear bases faster and could get level from it, because he doesn't level up from vortex. If I don't think, at least if he does, it's very minuscule amount. He levels up a lot more from doing his basic damage attacks, and that's what I usually did. I would empower his basic attack damage, and typically I would have 2 to 3 star chief, or typically a 2-star chieftain for sure by the time I even see a fucking enemy player. Uh, I would, cause the moment I get my chieftain out, I'm just zooming around the map. I'm zooming around the map. I'm just fucking empowering my chieftain. So more than likely, like especially if it's a bigger map, more than likely a chieftain's gonna be a 4 or 5 stars fighting an arbiter, and even in a 6-star arbiter ain't gonna be fighting him that well. Not without taking forever to do so. Without taking forever to kill him. So that's why I do place chieftain there. I I don't know. Maybe Cutter would be a better option to put up here, but I don't know. I think Chieftain is a little bit better than Cutter against an Arbiter, personally. Prophet of Regret. Um. Honestly, I think Prophet of Regret is like the biggest counter to Arbiter. I'm not gonna lie. Especially early game. I could tell you how many. well, shit. I can't tell you how many times I've lost my Arbiter because I do play Arbiter quite a bit in PvE. I can't tell you how many times I lost my Arbiter to a fucking AI rushing a Prophet over to my base because early game honor guards will tear your Arbiter apart. Like I'm not even shit joking around. Elite honor guards will fucking tear Arbiter's ass open, even if he's like got some levels on him. They will tear him apart. They have the damage. They have decent HP. Even for Arbiter, it's nuts. Because more than likely you can only get like maybe like a 2 shielded Arbiter, a 1 or 2 shielded Arbiter by the time Prophet comes to your base with honor guards, and those honor guards are fucking him in the ass. It's actually stupid how much damage honor guards alone do to Arbiter. On top of that, once Prophet flies in the air, now of course this is not with a rush because, you know, it takes a long time to get a flying Prophet, but once he gets to a flying Prophet, not only can Prophet do the stupid glitch to Arbiter if he tries to attack Prophet, but even if he does hit Prophet, Prophet's actually tanky enough to resist Arbiter pretty well. It's a pain in the ass to even hit him to begin with, though. At that point, Arbiter is not going to be messing with a Prophet unless he gets a Vampire and stuns him. Only then will Arbiter attack, but even then, he doesn't do a whole lot of damage to Prophet, so... I don't know. I feel like the early to mid game, Prophet has in the bag with Arbiter. I feel like Arbiter just struggles hardcore with a Prophet. I don't know. I mean, anytime. I mean, I know I will fully admit I suck ass with Arbiter, so maybe I'm wrong on this. But dude, I know Prophet. Like anytime I play Arbiter, Prophet always beats my ass, even if it's an AI. I get my ass tore from a Prophet as an Arbiter. But like I said, Arbiter is my least played hero. I know for a fact I suck the most with him. So maybe that isn't true at all. But from what I can tell, it's so hard to fight a Prophet with Arbiter. I don't know. Like I said, it doesn't change the fact that honor guards still rip your Arbiter's ass open. And the worst part is those fucking honor guards barely cost anything, and they're fucking tearing your Arbiter up. So I don't know, man. I'll leave them there. I'll leave them there. Let's move on to the units now. So we have let's see. We have Banshee. Sorry, I was changing the freaking tracks so it didn't play ads or whatever. But it might still. I don't know. Anyway, Banshee. I kind of said it before, not on this tier list, but I feel like Banshees and Scorpions, I feel like are two units that no leader is truly safe from, honestly. Even though I do say Arbiter is really good against air, once, you know, if they're not doing that stupid glitch, trying to make you jump off the map or whatever the hell happens with that shit. Arbiter definitely can just shred air if he can actually not be abused, sort of deal. Yeah, and that's where Banshee would go. I just think Banshee and Scorpion, realistically, no leader in the game is truly safe from them, honestly. ODST, I'm gonna say strong against. I feel like Arbiter, because of the fact that he's a Covenant leader that could just teleport back to base, and he's really good at killing infantry. I feel like there's just no time infantry's gonna be that big of an issue for you. Even ODSTs, I feel like Arbiter just really does well against them, so I don't see much of an issue with that. Warthogs, Arbiter is notorious for killing fucking Warthogs. Um, I could definitely see struggles against, because in early game, Warthogs can just ram him over and over and over again, and kill him pretty quickly in that case, but if it is an Arbiter that at least got a couple levels on himself, and he goes enraged, like, Warthogs are no fucking problem then. You'll be tearing through Warthogs left and right. I think Warthog players, like people that do Warthog rushes, they will fear a Arbiter. Um, like they will try to avoid an Arbiter at all costs, I feel. Unless they know the Arbiter's like low shield level. But other than that, like, no. I don't think Warthog players want to like run into an Arbiter, truly. Uh Vamps. I wouldn't say weekends, I say struggle. Because he is building air. He's definitely one to build air and infantry, I feel. But I feel like vampires are, yeah, there's gonna be more of a struggles against, I feel. And I feel like the main thing, like for me, I feel like the thing I want to build as Arbiter is like Banshees, Vamps, and Hunters. That's what I want to build as Arbiter when I play him. Just to enhance their damage with his buff. I want to do that so bad when I play Arbiter. And yeah, I feel like if a guy just goes full Vamps, yeah, it's an issue. I mean, you're not going to be fully safe against a vampire when you're building air. So, yeah. I definitely just say struggles against. Marines, same thing as the ODSTs. You can just quickly respond to them. You can kill them pretty quickly. And you are Covenant, so you have the Jackals on your side. Yeah, no problem at all, really. Wraith. Um, I feel like most USC can struggle with Wraiths. Um, like I usually put Wraiths on like the far right of struggles, I think, for the UNSC guys. But against Covenant, Hunters are just so strong against Wraiths. Um, because Wraiths, I mean, I don't know. Um, Wraiths are struggling against Hunters. I'll say that. They're struggling. And against an Arbiter, there's not really a whole lot they can do against him either. I'm gonna say he's strong as Wraiths, honestly. Hawks. I do realize my error. I feel like I did Hawks maybe a little bit of a disservice when I said that Arbiter is really strong against them. But even with that said, I do think they're at the low end of struggles against. Like they're in between the rank of struggles and strong against, mainly because I mean you're still Arbiter, you're still Covenant, you can still build Vamps, which are no doubt the best like air unit in the game. They rule the skies, they really do. Especially since Covenant can heal in mid combat as well. And the vampires already do that too when they have that stasis beam on something. They can fucking heal from that. And if engineers are healing it, it's a double healing source. So, like, it's fucking nuts. Like, Vamps are absolute, like, they're tanky as hell. Vamps are really tanky for an air unit. Yeah. They could take a lot of punishment for an air unit, for sure. That's why I placed them there. Just, I feel like they're in between here the Hawks are. They're not, like, he's not super strong against them, but I feel like it's, like, kind of in between, like, far right of struggles against and far left of strong against sort of deal. Um, Spartans. Um, it's so hard to rank Spartans because, like, it always depends on circumstances, and it always depends on what level they are in a tank. Uh, it's always so hard to rate them. I mean, even harder than rating a Scarab, because a Scarab, like, you know, certain leaders like Anders and Cutter can really shred a Scarab even if it has engineers on it. Um, but like in this regard, um, I find it really difficult to really rate Spartans because you don't really have like you don't really have like huge crowd control powers like Mac or Cryo. Um, to like instantly kill a Spartan. I don't know, like. I mean, they're definitely not strong against them, I'll say that much. Spartans are always going to be issues. But would I say they're weak against? You know what? Fuck it. I put them in the low end of weak against, actually. Reason being, even if they are low level, like, Spartans, they can still almost kill an Arbiter instantly because of how much less health he has than a Chieftain. Like, even if 3 Spartans just got into power turret tanks, that's still going to be enough for them to be able to kill Arbiter almost instantly if they all 3 hit him with a canister. So, just because of that fact alone, I'm just going to play something weak against, really. The squad with the Brute in it. I say strong against. I mean, kind of same deal as the ODSTs and Marines. They're just, you know, Arbiter, of course, can enhance Jackals, which Jackals are a defensive unit sort of deal, so that's no big deal. Arbiter's also really strong against infantry himself, so yeah, I'm just gonna lay him there. Uh, where did the thing go? What the fuck? Oh, there it is. Okay. So, Cobra. Um. I mean, like I said, I feel like you want to build infantry and air as Arbiter, but like, if you wanted to do something with vehicles, it's gonna be a struggle, because the only thing you can really use that is hunters, right? I won't say he's strong against them. I mean, hunters are strong against cobras, but I'll say they're more of a struggle than anything. I'll say struggle. Uh, Guard Squad. Strong against. The same thing as, like I said before. You know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna do this real quick. Same thing with the Brutes. Strong against. Same thing with the Flamethrowers. Strong against. And Honor Guard. Well, okay, Honor Guard's a little different because of the fucking how powerful they are early game against an Arbiter. They're a little different in that regard. You know what? It's because of their fucking early game. I'm actually gonna put him weak against. I'm gonna put him in the low end of weak against. I'm not even gonna lie. The honor guards are such a big problem against Arbiter in the early game. Like, they're ridiculous. You think Warthogs are bad? Try fighting fucking honor guards with Arbiter. You just fucking can't, dude. Like, unless you're double pumping fucking jackals, because even early game jackals, if they don't have beam rifle, they ain't doing shit to fucking honor guards. They ain't doing nothing besides giving those fuckers XP. Uh, yeah, fucking honor guards are disgusting early game against Arbiter. It's so dumb. It pisses me off to know. I mean, they can even kill a chieftain pretty good early game if he's not like level 2 where he can stun them. Oh yeah, like they can kill a chieftain not like pretty decently. Not as bad, not as big of a issue as it is for Arbiter though. I'd say. Elephant. Elephant's another unit that's really hard to like place because like it's all like it really depends on the situation. I mean, he can't struggle against it if it's like defending itself behind a wall or something, I guess. But like, I don't know. I mean, he's definitely not like weak against it. Elephants can be a pain in the ass at times, but it's more the fact that they're pumping out units in a more like what's the word I'm looking for? In a more convenient spot, really. I'll put him in the low end of struggles against and strong against. I'll put him in between those two. Scorpion. I'd argue very weak against. There's a reason why not many people play Arbiter. Unless they're super turtling or something, or they have good chemistry with their team. But most of the time, like, Scorpions, I'd honestly say they're number one biggest issue for Arbiter. Main reason being is just because he can instantly die from them very quickly. Those canisters do so much damage to Arbiter, it's unreal. Arbiter might as well not even have a fucking HP pool once those fuckers are fucking power turret tanks. He might as well not even have an HP pool at that point. He's like one tap. And his Sui grunts aren't gonna do a whole lot to them, I feel. I don't know. Like I said, there have been some Arbiter players that do surprise me pretty, well, but doesn't change the fact that Scorpions, if it's not a veteran Arbiter, like a 5 to 6 star Arbiter, PT turrets are taking his ass out, even if there's not Spartans in them. They're taking him out pretty quick, if not instantly. Yeah. Bad. It's bad. Vulture. Fucking potato. I don't even want to talk about it. Hunter. I mean, I feel like this is the unit you're kind of building. I feel like he'd be strong against, actually. I feel like it'd be like up here. I feel like Hunter's like he's strong against them because he can, enhance his jackals. He's the infantry killer, and like I just don't think Arbiter's really building. I mean, most Covenant guys aren't putting a hyper focus on vehicles, right? Apart from air, like ground vehicles aren't really something you really want to build. Like there is some times where Wraith's like, it's a pretty good option, Wraiths are not bad at times. They are pretty good. But I still wouldn't like mainline them. You know what I mean? Uh, Wraiths are kind of like nice to have as like artillery support. Really, that's the way I use them. I'll usually have like hunters in front of them and have the Wraiths in the back that's firing on the base or some shit. You know, stuff like that. They're nice artillery support units. That's kind of the way I use them. Because I do have pretty far range. So that is kind of nice. But, yeah. But, like, hunters, like, for the most part, there's just nothing for them to really target against Arbiter's army. Unless he does build, like, Locusts to try to surprise someone. Or Wraiths from time to time. Then, yeah. But other than those circumstances, not really. Nothing. Most of the time, the hunters aren't gonna have much to target when it's Arbiter playing. I feel like I see most Arbiter players build either infantry, air, or both. So I'll leave it at that. Hornets, strong against. They're butt cheeks, dude. I mean, he's Covenant. The moment that they see like someone mass producing Hornets, you get like 5 vamps out, it's gonna take out like an entire army of Hornets. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I mean, honestly, if you get like 2 engineers, or maybe a little bit more than that, like maybe like 5 engineer per vampire, and you just have like 5 of them, I would be surprised if those 5 vampires would take out 20 Hornets. It wouldn't surprise me one damn bit. Wouldn't surprise me one damn bit. Vamps are so strong, and Hornets are really bad. Like, really fucking bad. Locust, I feel like... I mean, even a unranked, like, an unveteran Arbiter can, like, almost 2-tap these things. I think he does 2-tap these things. I think it's, like, 1 shot to take out the shield and 1 shot to take out the fucking health. And these things are dead. Yeah, absolutely just pathetic against Arbiter. Chopper, same diff. I mean, I talk about it all the time, you know. Chopper just is so bad. Cyclops is also just gonna go down there. I mean, it's gonna get 1-tap by Arbiter, let's be real here. Wolverine. Wolverine's definitely more of a struggle. Probably the higher end of struggles against. Just because, you know, he is booting air. So, you know, that's definitely something that's going to target Arbiter shit. Now the last two. These 2 units go together. As I said before, they are like the Q and U. Have to stay together. Because there's, like I said, there's no way you're building a scare without engineers. Like, you have to be building both. Unless you're trying to send a scare on a fucking suicide run. Like, it's just, there's no way you're not building engineers with it. Where would I put it? Engineers would scare him. I would argue that Arbiter probably does have the weakest attacks against a Scarab. Like, probably even weaker than Forge against a Scarab. Mainly because he doesn't really have anything, like, in his kit anyway. He doesn't really have any, like, massive bursts of damage. Apart from, like, if you just surrounded it with Suicide Grunts, but, like, who's doing that? And how long would it even take to do that? Like, it would take forever. Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like the best thing that Arbiter can really do is, like, I honestly don't know. I guess build Banshees or Hunters and, like, enhance their damage with his attack. His aura. I honestly don't know. I feel like it's more of a struggle. I feel like it's in, like, the mid-tier of struggle, I guess. I just feel like if there's an army of engineers stealing a Scarab, I don't really know how you respond to that, to be honest with you. You might have to build your own Scarab to even respond to it. Unless you just try to bulldoze it with Hunters. I guess you could maybe do that. Army of Hunters and Vamps, but even then, Uh, it'd be a bitch. I was gonna leave it there. Gonna leave it there. Now, from left to right, strongest counter to weakest counter. I think the elephant's the weakest counter. It's just a barracks outside your base. Then Hawk. Well, maybe Cobra actually, because Cobra, like I said earlier, there's just not many instances where Arbiter would build vehicles. I would say, I don't know. And then, yeah, I think Vampire already kind of goes there. Engineer Scarab kind of go there. Banshee. Um, I feel like Banshees could actually do that stupid cliff thing a lot better than any other unit, just because of how fast they are. I feel like they could really abuse cliffs way easier than any other unit. So yeah, I'm just gonna leave them there. Wolverine, definitely an issue. I might even put Wolverine or Banshee ahead of it just because of that stupid glitch. I'll leave it there though. Gremlin. Oh, Gremlin might actually have to go down a lot. Might have to go down. I think Cobra's a bigger issue than Gremlin, honestly. Because there's not really much of a reason that you would stun a Covenant ground vehicle. It's not really doing much to begin with, right? I mean, like I said, there is certain circumstances where they're good, but yeah. Um. Yeah, so that's where the Wolverine goes. I think Cutter's better at fighting Arbiter than Forge. Um. Up here, I think Scorpions are definitely his strongest counter. A Prophet's probably his second biggest counter. I'll leave. You know what? I'll move Honor Guard up here. I'll move him like I don't know. Dude, like I'm talking about only early game. Like only early game. If it's not early game, it's like down here. But like early game, dude, those motherfuckers are nuts against Arbiter, dude. If you rush, and it's not like it's hard to do. It's very easy to do. They have decent HP pools. They hit like a fucking freight train for some reason against Arbiter. It's nuts. It's fucking nuts. I'm gonna just leave them there. I'm just leave them there. I'm gonna leave Jackal there because of Arbiter, because high ranking Jackals are so stupid against Arbiter. Cheetah goes above the Grizzly. Spartan goes above the Grizzly. Grizzly is kind of like in between these two tiers. Yeah, that's gonna have to do it for this one. I think it's yeah, I think that's a good list, ladies and gentlemen. What do you think? I think that is a solid fucking list. A lot more weaknesses, huh? I mean, like I said, doesn't mean you're always gonna lose against that. Honor Guard's only up there because of the early game. The early game is just disgusting. It is so disgusting. Like I would rather want Warthogs. Give me a Warthog rush. Don't give me an Honor Guard. Like if I'm playing Arbiter, please, for the love of God, rush me with Warthogs, not Honor Guards. Please. Dude, Honor Guards are so bad against Arbiter. It's ridiculous. Oh, it makes me want to cry just thinking about it. It's so rough. I don't know why they like I literally had my Arbiter assassinated by like fucking four of them just bodying him in a corner. Like they were just fucking whipping him in the ass, just not giving a fuck, dude. Prophet even helped. That was the worst part about it. Prophet even fucking helped. It was just 4 elite honor guards just whooping his ass, and I even tried to rage them down, and they were just like, "Oh yeah, 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 get mad, bitch, get mad." Then they fucking grabbed Arbiter by his throat and just started fucking yanking his throat around, dude. Like it was bad. It was bad. They literally butt raped him. Like it was fucking nuts, dude. I remember I was so stunned by that. I stopped playing Halo Wars for like a week after that. I was like, what the fuck just happened? Like I was so shocked when it happened to me. It's happened to me multiple times since then too, where honor guards will literally just box my Arbiter in and just be like, yeah, come here, bitch. Yeah, bam, bam, fuck you. They'll just fucking beat his ass in a corner and just kill him. Like, I don't get it. I don't get why honor guards are so strong. Because like, you can't even, like, rage them down, like, in an efficient manner. Like, they will literally tank your hits. It is actually ridiculous. Yeah. But outside of that, outside of the early game, they're not that big of an issue anymore. But yeah, I'm gonna have to leave it there. Yeah, it's a little bit more of a rough list for Arbiter, but I do think Arbiter is realistically like I would say he's probably like the worst leader in the game. Honestly, I do think he is the worst leader in the game. Either him or Prophet. Chieftain's definitely the best leader for Covenant. Uh, if I remember my tier list, I'm not even gonna go by the tier list. Uh, but if I remember correctly, I still probably stand by it. It's Cutter first for best leader in the game. Second is Anders. Third best is Chieftain. Fourth best is like I would say Forge. Fifth best is maybe Prophet, or I'd say Prophet's probably better than Arbiter. And Arbiter's probably like the bottom. I don't know. Suicide grunts are just such a stupid thing to have. Like, I mean, I know honor guards don't really do a whole lot either, but at the very least, like honor guards like can do something in the early game. Suicide grunts aren't doing a whole lot unless you're trying to meme with them. Like, they're super slow. They're weak as hell. They're not even gonna get to their target before they die most of the time. Like you have to really place them well, and even when you place them well, it's not gonna surprise anyone. You can still just kill them very quickly if you know what you're doing. Not you don't even gotta know what you're doing. You just gotta look at them and they die. So I don't know. I had no idea. I think Arbiter is just kind of cooked. His fucking extra leader, his unit he gets is just so dumb. But anyway, that's how I'm going to leave it here. If you guys enjoyed this one, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, everyone. Peace!